I punish my mind for having weak thoughts. See, what I say in my world is law. So if I say I'm waking up at a certain time tomorrow, if I say that I'm going to get X, Y, and Z done tomorrow, if I say I'm going to do this workout, it's law. It's done. There's no choices, just only clear-cut decisions. See, your brain is actively working against you in everything that you're trying to build. Right now, today, even at this moment, it's giving you thoughts that are in your voice against you. And until you understand what's actually going on, what's actually happening inside your head, you will keep quitting at the exact moment that you're closest to your breakthrough. See, today I want to talk to entrepreneurs, I want to talk to purpose seekers, I want to talk to those who are trying to create and build and do something. But there's a person that keeps telling you you're falling short. Not because you lack talent, not because you're operating in the wrong timing, but because no one taught you how to deal with the most dangerous enemy that you'll ever have to face, your own mind. So let's talk about it. Here's what most people don't know about their mind. Your mind is a supercomputer. And it's hedonistic in design, which means that it's always chasing comfort and running from pain. And the machine that is your mind, it's loaded with old programming, voices from the past, fears that were handed down to you before you even had the ability to decipher whether it's right or wrong. And we hold on to these things. Why? Because mama gave them to me. Daddy gave them to you. Grandma gave them to you. The teacher that you loved and adored told you these things. And you inherited them before you were ever meant to inherit these things, because they were not meant to define you. Now, every time you change, your brain fires what is that old programming, and it does everything it can do to drag you back into what's familiar, what it's used to. That familiarity has been failing you since day one. Romans 12:2 says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That word renewing means the old programming has to be replaced, not managed, replaced. And God didn't design you to be a prisoner of your own past conditioning. You are made to be transformed. You're made for this transformation. And this transformation requires you to take control of what's running between your ears. See, resistance is not a stopping sign. When you feel resistant, it's not the sign for you to stop and quit. It's usually the green light that tells you need to go. Here's what nobody tells you is that the moment that you decide to change, the moment that you decide to start, the moment that you decide to do something new and unfamiliar, it's going to get harder way before it gets easier. Your brain is going to tell you to sleep in. It's going to tell you that you've done enough. It's going to tell you that you reached enough for you. It's going to tell you that your goal is unrealistic. It's going to tell you that the timing was not great. It was bad timing. It's going to tell you that you can always start again Monday. It's going to tell you that you can do it tomorrow. And most people will take that as a sign to stop. But you need to flip that. When your mind starts fighting against you, when the resistance gets too loud, it's not a warning, it's confirmation. This means that what you're doing is actually working. Your brain is getting uncomfortable because it's being stretched beyond how it knows to be stretched. It's moving to areas that it has never been before. And because it's in a state of uncomfortableness, because it likes to be comfortable and it runs from pain, it's going to run. Never do less than what you're committed to do. See, if your mind tries to stop you at 8 reps at the gym, and you already committed that you're going to do 12 reps, if your mind tells you to sleep in and you know you have to get up earlier, not to punish yourself, and that's what it doesn't want you to do. You want to teach yourself that your word is law. I'm not punishing myself, I'm punishing my mind. That what you say you're going to do, you're committed to do those things. Your word has to be your bond. It has to be it has to be your commitment. Because if you can't trust yourself, then no one else can trust you. And if you say things to yourself and go back on those things, you're a person who cannot be trusted. So by yourself, before God, who can be trusted if not you? So when discipline shows up in one area, it unlocks everything else in every area. See, here's what successful people have figured out. And most people never will understand this, that when you build something real, it takes real discipline. And when real discipline shows up in one area of your life, something shifts and it carries on into every area of your life. When you start showing up at the gym consistently, you begin to see results, something clicks, but you realize consistency works when you work it. Full stop. It works when you work it. All work works, whether it's working on you before it works for you. That same principle has to show up doing the reps, not quitting. It has to show up in your business. It has to show up in your family. It has to show up in your finances. It has to show up in your calling. Proverbs 4:23, it says, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And I want you to add on to that, guard your habits. Because your habits are who your character is going to be. Because everything that you become flows from what you repeatedly do. So start small. Start small in the things that you have to do. Show up in small ways at first. Show up by just going to the gym. Show up in the kitchen. Show up at your desk. Show up in every area at the time that you need to show up. And watch discipline do its work. Become the foundation for everything that you do. Now, you have to tame every single day. That's where it's hard. Now, the part that most people don't want to hear, it doesn't end. It never ends. That voice never stops. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. It doesn't matter how long you've been consistent, how long you've been disciplined. That voice never goes away. Every day you have to remind yourself, who is in charge? You have to tell your mind who is in charge. Every day you have to make decisions and stop making choices. Decisions, clear-cut decisions. I'm going to do this. And when you make a decision, it cuts off every other option of anything else. Because I've decided to do something. I didn't make a choice. Choices give you other options. Decisions are clear-cut. And so you say that you're going to do this. And the question is, are you going to do this? or will you hand the keys back over to that old programming every single day? But the good news is it does get a little bit easier. And let me tell you why. Because the first few weeks of real change, it feels like a battle. And that battle is very tough. It's very hard. Why? Because of a word called homeostasis. Homeostasis is where your body physiologically wants to go back to a place where it feels as it's normal. When I started my weight loss journey, and I'm still on that journey, I'm still far from where I want to be. And honestly, it's a journey that will never end because I don't see myself stopping. Even when I get to a goal that a weight that I feel like I have achieved a healthy weight, I'm not going to stop going to the gym. But when I first started going to the gym and I was working hard and I was doing a lot for 2 months, it felt like nothing was happening. It was so hard. It was so tough at first. And then it started to get easier. I started to be able to run further and longer. I started to be able to lift more weights. But I look in the mirror and it seemed like nothing changed because of homeostasis. And what I learned with homeostasis is the body wants to get to a weight that it feels very comfortable with, a weight that feels familiar with. And so because the weight that I've been at has been so large, when I did lose fat, my body held on to those fat cells. And what it did, it started to fill those fat cells up with water because it felt comfortable at that weight. That weight was normal to it. And it does this because it thinks it's trying to protect you. Just like all those things that grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, your teachers gave to you because they felt they were trying to protect you. They were doing what they thought was in its best interest. And your body does what it thinks is in its best interest to keep you safe. And the primary reason is because your body believes and behaves like it's a thermostat. And anything that drops below 98.6 is trying to get back to 98.6. When my body believes that 430 pounds was normal, it tried hardest to get back to 400. And I dropped well below 400 and it's trying hard to get back to 400 because it's been the normal state for so long. And it's going to fight against you. And you have to fight against homeostasis. You have to fight against what's normal. You have to fight against what's familiar. And yes, it's a battle. Yes, it's a battle every single day. But when your mind tries to betray you, like when my mind tries to betray me, and it tries to use my old programming and tries to stop me from being disciplined in the ways that I need to, I punish my mind. How do I do this? When I'm supposed to do 10 reps and my mind says you did 8, that is enough, then I go and do 12. Because my mind needs to understand that I'm either going to do exactly what I said I'm going to do or I'm going to do more. If my mind tells me that I need to wake up and my alarm goes off at 6 o'clock in the morning, and my mind tells me, oh, you can sleep in just 5 more minutes, it won't hurt. Then I jump out of the bed immediately, and tomorrow I make sure that I wake up 5 minutes earlier. Because I'm going to do exactly what I say I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do less. And either you're going to suffer or you're going to fall in line. And your brain literally starts to rewire. And it rewires the way your brain operates because eventually, if you stay consistent, your mind stops fighting you as hard. And it starts to learn that the path of least resistance is doing exactly what you say you're going to do. Otherwise, you're going to do more. You're going to do harder. You're going to do the more difficult choice until it falls in line. And when it does, there's nothing that you will not be able to accomplish. When your mind falls in line, that's the key to unlock. It's your mind. It's your own mind. It's not all these external forces. And those external forces exist, but it's truly the biggest enemy you have is your own mind. You're not just building habits, you're taming a wild beast that has been there trying to destroy everything that you do. Your flesh the only thing that your flesh has been doing since day one is trying to kill you. How does it do that? Because it indulges in nothing but pleasure, and it does not care what the consequences are. That's the reason why I found myself in a state of over 400 pounds, because my mind want to indulge in pleasure. Why? To ease whatever pains that I was going through, whatever pains I experienced in childhood, whatever pains that I experienced as a young adult, whatever pains I experienced in my marriage, whatever pains I experienced. My mind's just trying to do whatever it thought it could do to keep me safe. But when you show up and be consistent, the more and more you are consistent, the more and more you are disciplined, the more and more you take hold of the reins to your mind. So here's one thing before you leave. Pick an area where your mind fights against you the hardest. Whatever it's the workout, whether it's the early morning, whether it's the business plan that you haven't started yet, whether it's the area in your life that you know you need to fix and change to save your marriage, to save your finances, to save whatever it is. Do not do less than what you say you're going to do. That's where it starts. And that's where everything starts to change. When you become disciplined in one area, when you become consistent in one area, it affects every area of your life. And it drives you to the point where you want to be more consistent, not just over here, but over there. And if that hits home with someone who needs to hear this message today, drop a comment. Say where in what area you're going to be more consistent today, this week. Where are you going to show up? Like the video, subscribe, because every week I'm building people, and we're going to build people with purpose here. So let's go. Until next time, I'm Minister Crush. Peace.